Hello and welcome to Practically Effective. This is a podcast by Will and I about effects, props and stunts in various films. And today, we're talking about X-Men First Class.
Yay.
I mean, the reason's tenuous.
A month ago, or like 3 weeks ago, Red Sparrow came out.
Yep.
And that has Jennifer Lawrence in it.
Yes.
And this has Jennifer Lawrence in it.
Yep, they share actors.
There we go. That's a good reason.
That's as good a reason as any. Given
It's
that we
the
don't...
best reason we've had so far.
Excellent. So, Will, what did you think of X-Men First Class?
Well, it's got Jennifer Lawrence in it, so 10 out of 10. Couldn't be better. I have several pages of notes. Most of them involve Jennifer Lawrence in some way.
I have less notes. I struggled. We'll see how this goes, people. We're also on a very restricted time limit today. In an hour and a half, we have to depart to go see The Room.
Yeah.
And throw spoons at it.
Throw spoons at it, because apparently that's the thing you do.
Anyway, yes, let's just get on, shall we? So, chronological order?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, we begin in the past.
Well, the whole thing is in the past.
That's right. Yes, we begin in the very
good
past.
stuff.
We begin in the very
We begin
past.
in 1944.
Yes.
So we just say that, and then that's clear.
I didn't have the year, but yes. And little Eric is, he's very attracted to those gates.
He is, yeah. He has a magnetic personality. That's the only magnet joke I've got. I've used it up early.
There must be something you can do with, like, North and South Poles, I don't know.
Yeah, he does go to an icy place later on, which could be
North
Pole.
Awesome. Anyway, Eric he's been torn away from his mummy. Good.
And he meets Kevin Bacon. It took me a while to figure out that was Kevin Bacon, like the same guy. I couldn't recognise him.
When I first saw the movie in the cinema, I didn't make the connection at all. And I was just really confused for the whole movie.
Kevin Bacon?
Kevin
Bacon?
Yep.
Kevin Bacon is some sort of scientist, and he wants to study little Timmy, little Eric.
Little Eric, yes. Because, okay.
He wants to unlock his powers.
Basically, because in the beginning we don't know he's a mutant.
Mm.
And it seems like he's just being cruel for the sake of it. But actually he just wants to help. He's basically Charles Xavier. He just wants to help people learn their powers and develop them. Become stronger. Yeah.
I mean, he's right at the end, he points out that, like, everything you are today is thanks to me, and he's right.
He's completely right. And also we get a scene with little Charles in his big old mansion.
Little baby Charles.
And little Raven.
Yeah.
Pretending to
Who
be
at this
his
point is not played by Jennifer Lawrence, so I don't care. You can skip this soon.
I mean, nothing really happens, does it?
I'm a bit confused, because he mentions his mother.
Yeah.
But, like, you don't see anyone else like in that house.
I mean, it's a big house.
He lives there by himself. Just like this 8-year-old kid.
I think it's because it's the middle of the night.
That would explain it.
Well, it was the night butler, Will. I would have loved it if they'd gone back and there'd just been like an Alfred character who just stayed in the house and kept it in order. So yeah, we see them all as the kiddies. And then, for the flip of a coin, we go to 1962?
Early 60s, yeah, I think it's 62.
I think it is 62 because Matthew Vaughn, director of X-Men First Class, said he wanted to make it like an old-timey Bond movie.
Yes.
And 62 is when the first Bond movie came out. So maybe an homage, maybe a coincidence.
I think it's mostly to do with the Cuban Missile Crisis and when that took place.
Maybe history.
To like link in with that. But also that.
I'm not on the ball today. Yes. Do you like it when a movie attaches itself to a particular historic event and kind of portrays like a fictional version of history?
I think it's dangerous because you open yourself up to all kinds of inaccuracies. I mean, okay, I'm not... Okay, no. Okay, so obviously... There are some things that should not be changed.
Yes.
Because of this in a film.
Yeah.
And you open yourself up to just getting all sorts of things wrong. That aren't just different because it's a film. You know
yeah, I know what you mean, yeah.
But at the same time, it kind of makes it...
It grounds it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it kind of makes it easier to... There's like less background building you have to do in the film because everyone kind of already knows what's going on.
I quite like these alternate versions of history. I don't like it when they kind of like try and imply that that's what really happened.
Yeah.
Not in this kind of movie, obviously, but in other movies. But I like a different way of looking at a particular historic event. Going back to the James Bond aesthetic, do you think they hit that target?
Certainly with the clothes. They did.
Yes, they did.
Especially the clothes that Eric wears.
Yes.
Dapper suits.
Yeah. Well, the director said he wanted Magneto basically to be the Sean Connery James Bond. Kind of like, he has a ruthless side, but he also has a gentler side.
Yeah.
And he's being ruthless because he has a job to do. And, I wish there were more movies set in the past. I like looking into the 60s and that sort of thing, because also it ages better if you set your movie in the past. Because if you watch like Iron Man now, it's set in 2008.
Unless it's Top Gun, where you open it with Indian Ocean present day, and then whenever you watch it,
it's always now.
I was watching the special features,
yeah,
and there was a bit on sound editing, Joe.
Oh, what?
Our favourite part of the film.
Yeah.
And even the sound editing guys were saying they drew influence from the James Bond.
Really?
Sound music, yeah.
Huh.
Sound music.
The swish of the curtain must be just like in this scene from
Well, I
Thunderball.
mean more the music rather than the effects.
I really like the music in this.
I like Magneto's music quite a lot.
Yes.
I like his music comes from him.
It's another movie where the characters kind of have a theme, like a particular piece of music for each of them. You don't get that very much anymore. I saw a thing on the internet, and it was kind of pointing out that we're at nearly 20 Marvel movies now. Could you hum any piece of music from any of the Marvel movies? No. So you don't get like the Superman theme or the 1989 Batman theme. You don't really get that anymore. And it's a shame because I love a good theme tune.
Yeah.
Like a good Indiana Jones theme or something like that. But yes, there is fantastic music in this, especially during the two montages, which I can't wait to talk about because I love a montage. And this movie has two of them. Anyway.
You're right. The music in those is great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we see them in the modern day. Eric is bent on revenge.
Yep.
There's a nice bit of foreshadowing when he flicks the coin through the heads.
The guy's heads
into
on the picture, yeah.
Yeah, that's quite nice. I like that. And Charles is a kind of jerkish, nearly professor.
Oh yeah, so it's clear. Okay, this is where the fact that it's an American film comes shining through, and they don't understand that British academic system.
Please explain, Will, for
like in the US.
Yeah.
Basically, if you're a researcher at a university, you're called a professor,
Right.
more or less whatever level you're at.
Yeah.
But in the UK, you only become a professor like relatively late on in your career.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, you'll be doing research at a university and just get called a doctor.
Yeah.
And you only become a professor once you get tenure, relatively late on. Xavier just got his PhD because he's doing his thesis. So he's just become a doctor.
Yeah.
And they're already calling him professor.
Yeah. So
he says you only get called professor when you have a teaching position. That's not the case.
That's not true.
You can have a teaching position and still be a doctor only.
Yeah. Or just a teacher.
Yeah.
Because at the end, they're like, oh, you're a professor now that you teach at this school for gifted youngsters that you founded. Yeah, that's not how it works.
At that point, he's back in America, so that is how it works there. But because he's at Oxford University when it's in the UK.
But where is the X-Mansion? I assumed that
That's
was in
in
Britain.
New York.
Oh.
And it looks like an English mansion. I think the filming set they used was an English mansion.
Huh.
But
I didn't pick that was in America.
It is.
Well, there you are.
Now, for the original X-Men films, I think they used some mansion in Canada somewhere.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I enjoy how these two people have grown up in complete opposite situations and yet still become friends to a point. It's not just that they're all essentially the same character. Because obviously the central relationship here is between Magneto and Xavier.
Yeah.
Well, okay, this movie, I didn't do my pre-spiel, which I normally do about how the production happened. After the first 3 X-Men movies, they were planning to do a whole series of X-Men Origins. And this was basically the ashes of X-Men Origins Magneto. And they basically burned all the Origins plans when Origins Wolverine failed catastrophically.
Yeah.
And they were like, okay, let's rejig this and make it about both of them.
Well, apparently they originally wanted it to be like a high school movie.
Really?
They wanted it to be like Twilight with X-Men.
Oh, no!
I know, that was their original.
Oh, I don't think but that. Oh, hang on, that makes more sense than one of the things I found. Okay, so these things were cut out in the pre-production phase.
Yeah.
And one of them was a Professor X, Moira McTaggart, Magneto love triangle.
Yes.
That makes more sense now. One of the other things that was cut out, I mean, the mutant Sunspot was cut out, who just throws fire, and he would have been the same as Havoc, basically, I imagine. But also a dream sequence involving revolving rooms. And basically, they had this in the script until they saw Inception,
Oh.
which came out about a year before, and they were like, "Oh no, they've done it now. We can't do it." Where would that have gone? I mean, there's a few places where you could revolve a room, but not in a dream sequence, unless it was like a Charles Xavier mind thing.
Yeah.
That would make more sense than a dream sequence. It's just like Banshee wakes up and he's like, "I had a horrible nightmare." That's how he speaks now. Oh yes, of course we meet Jennifer Lawrence.
Yeah.
Tell me, Will, of Jennifer Lawrence's character.
Are we talking about the scene in the pub
Yes.
after he gets his professorship?
Or
And
just...
they say that she's his sister.
Yes. I don't understand how do you get from 10-year-old fine small blue girl in kitchen to we are brother and sister now? Did his parents adopt her?
Well, it's like a thing to say. You can't just say, this is someone I know.
No, but I mean, he's like, you don't have to be hungry anymore.
Yeah.
So was he just sneaking food out to her, do you think?
Oh, yeah.
For his whole teenage life?
What you mean.
Or did they literally adopt her?
You're basically asking, what did his parents know?
Yeah, of Mystique.
That's a good point, actually.
Because obviously she can transform into anyone.
Yeah.
So...
Kill his parents. She becomes...
Both of them?
Both of his parents.
Charles
You'll never see them in the same room together.
It's a foolproof plan.
Yeah, that must be it.
We solved it. So yeah, then we get basically introduced to a whole load of people.
Yeah.
We get introduced to Raven, because she's not Mystique yet.
No.
And then we get introduced to Moira McTaggart.
Oh, yeah.
CIA lady Moira McTaggart. She's outside... Is it Vegas, is it?
Yeah, somewhere in Vegas.
This movie, it doesn't spend more than 3 minutes in one country. It bounces all over the place. Not that that's to its detriment. I actually quite like it, but...
With her partner in CIA-ness.
Yes. A guy who clearly doesn't want to be there with her and doesn't back her in any conversations or situations.
There's a bit later that I want to talk about that.
Yeah?
I think you know what I mean.
Yeah. And they see a general going into this club.
Like Colonel.
A large American military man. And she struts in after him.
Yeah.
And...
They have the most useless secret room.
They do. Okay, so they go down into like a basement where there's loads of table dancers.
Yeah.
And
you get into the secret room by pressing the middle of the table.
The top.
Now, surely that must happen from time to time.
But then they get in the secret room, it's like an office, and then behind a bookshelf there's a secret room.
Yes.
So they must have had that built when people canoodling in the booth kept rotating into their secret meetings. Yeah, so she sees are evil mutants.
Yeah.
Are dastardly villains.
Yeah.
And let's talk through them, shall we?
Alright. None of them are Jennifer Lawrence.
None of them are. But
So I guess I'll put up with this.
So we have Emma Frost.
Yeah.
She has telepathic powers.
And can also turn into diamond.
Because those
Which
are
seem two abilities completely unrelated to each other.
And also, when she's in her diamond form, you can't read her mind.
Yes.
Yes, that's the thing.
Why didn't she just stay in her diamond form the whole time? Is there any disadvantage to that?
I mean, people would notice.
Okay.
But then, apart from that...
But I mean, like, whenever you're in any sort of...
Yeah, there's no good reason not to.
conflicty situation, yeah.
Yeah. Azazel?
Oh, yeah, I forgot what his name was, so I put him as Devil Man.
Well, he's called Azazel.
Yeah.
And he's basically Nightcrawler, but evil.
He's Nightcrawler, but red instead of blue.
And Russian.
Yeah.
I like him. He's serviceable in what he does, which is not very much. And my
He has one way of killing people.
with his spiky tail.
No. He teleports them into the air and then drops them.
Oh yeah,
And he has one way of killing people.
he stabs at least one guy with his tail.
Yeah.
And also he stabs some people with knives. Apparently the actor decided to make him Russian to explain why he has so much joy in killing all those CIA men.
I didn't catch that.
Which is pretty great. And then the other guy, who's the Hawkeye of this movie.
Oh yeah.
He
does nothing.
His proper name is Riptide, but I don't think they say that anywhere in the movie.
No, they don't.
So in my notes I've called him Windy Boy.
Windy Boy. That's a good one.
So for the rest of this podcast I will refer to him as Windy Boy.
Windy Boy, yeah.
And this is a man who can create tornadoes from nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw this scene in a behind the scenes thing, and it is the funniest thing.
Right.
So it's the scene where they've just thrown General McLarge America across the room,
Yeah.
and he's crashed into the bookshelf,
Mm.
and Kevin Bacon is like, get us...
We haven't talked about Kevin Bacon yet.
We
So you
haven't.
just introduced him.
But I have
Kevin Bacon is there as well.
the actor Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
But he's like, he says to Emma Frost, summon Azazel, and she does a whistle.
Yeah.
They call cut,
Yeah.
and he just walks in. They call it, like, the other two actors freeze. They call action, and then he looks and he's like, Azazel, you're alright. The general wouldn't like to be late for his appointment. Azazel reaches out, the general takes his hand, they call cut again, and the actor just helps this large man up. They walk off screen, and then they call action again. It's great. And the other great thing is whenever Windy Boy is summoning a tornado, he's kind of just tickling the air. It looks like he's stroking someone's beard. But he's there doing it with an incredibly serious expression. This movie without effects would be 10 times better. Where were we? Oh yeah.
We had to introduce Kevin Bacon.
We didn't. He's the leader of these little band of mutants.
Yeah.
He's the best of the villains, certainly.
Yeah, yeah.
He's probably my favourite mutant in this movie. I like it when someone who always plays the hero ends up playing a villain.
Yeah.
So,
apparently when they first suggested him, a lot of people were like, what? Kevin Bacon?
Yeah. They apparently also suggested Colin Firth, and I think that could have worked. I mean, I like him as an American, but I think he could have worked as
You
Colin
like him
Firth.
as an American?
I like Sebastian Shaw as the American character that he is. But I mean, he changes from German at the beginning, so it doesn't make a difference, does it? I really want to see Tom Cruise play a villain.
Why?
Because he always plays the hero. I don't mean like as a stereotypical villain. He plays it as if he's the hero.
That's what Kevin Bacon does in this, and it's what makes it good. It's what makes it a good performance.
I think
in his mind, he's the hero. You know?
Yeah, he doesn't realise he's doing anything wrong. He's one of the... That's why he's a great villain, Will. I feel a good villain should be doing something like that. Like, Obadiah Stane doesn't think he's doing the right thing.
Yes, he does. We went over this.
I mean when he's, like, murdering Tony Stark. He's not doing that because it's a means to an end. He's doing that because he's gone mental.
Okay.
I mean, to save the company, of course, Will.
He's doing it to save the company.
His noble efforts. Okay, so where are we? Magneto goes to Argentina. We go to a fifth country in this movie. He stabs some people.
Yep.
I do enjoy that scene.
Because they're German.
Yes.
With no other reason than that.
Well, I mean, they were Nazis?
It's never really clear whether they were SS soldiers or whether they were just regular army soldiers.
Or whether he just saw them in a picture with Shaw and decided to kill them.
No, because at one point one of them remarks that they were following orders, which implies they were.
Yes, he does, yeah.
But so it's not clear whether they were SS or regular army.
Or whether whether in the camps or whatever they were doing. He must know, though. Because before that, he goes to the bank, doesn't he?
Mm.
And he has that lump of Nazi gold.
Yes.
I want to know how he got that.
He got it from a friend.
But, I mean, he's Magneto. He can manipulate metal.
Yeah.
So couldn't he just float it out of a window?
Gold isn't magnetic.
No, but neither's brass. And he bends that bed.
What bed?
The CIA operation, he cracks Emma Frost's diamond form with a brass bed.
Oh, yeah.
And he, in the montage, he lifts this presumably silver champagne holder bucket thing.
I don't think that's actually silver. I think...
Are we saying everything's just really cheap? They couldn't afford the proper metal, so it's just all iron.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, let's go with that.
I think the bucket is definitely not actually made of silver. And I don't think the bed is probably not brass. It's like, I don't know, plastic.
Yeah. It's plastico.
Plastico.
I've been plastic to my will. Yes, so, where were we? Are we in the bank scene, or are we in...
We're doing the bank scene.
Yeah, he takes a filling out of a guy's... Oh, but he says in that scene...
He comments that it's not a gold filling.
Metal filling's not gold. So maybe he can only manipulate ferrous metal.
I assumed, because his name is Magneto.
Yes.
Which implies he can only it's magnetic.
But also, in the submarine at the end, when Kevin Bacon is frozen, he's manipulating the wires, which are presumably copper. Because he takes the helmet off with some wires, doesn't he? Just before he's frozen Kevin Bacon.
I thought he just, knocked the helmet off.
I mean, you'd think he'd do that, wouldn't you? But no, there's some wires stretched out behind Kevin Bacon's head. And then he pulls the helmet off with the thing, and Xavier freezes him.
Yeah.
Presumably copper wires. Alright, Magneto has ill-defined powers.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to now state what metal everything is probably made of that he moves for the rest of this podcast. Again, I saw that without the effects. It's ridiculous and I love it. It's just, metal fillings, eh? As he holds his hand near a man's mouth and the guy just does a weird facial expressions. All of the tension in that scene comes from the sound of the creaking in his mouth. And without that, it just looks ridiculous. We'll get on to other dumb things that look ridiculous in this movie later, because I have a personal favourite.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Anything else to say about Argentina?
We haven't actually... The bit that I was going to say about What's-Her-Face's partner being useless.
Oh, I thought you meant that was down the line, but go on.
I think we kind of skipped over it because it's a minor bit.
Yeah.
But the bit where she gets back in the car and phones up the CIA boss.
Who's in a meeting.
And he's in a meeting and tells him what happened.
Yep.
And the Colonel
America,
America is also in the meeting.
Yes.
And so, what's the CIA lady's name?
Moira
tells the CIA boss, Colonel America is in league with these
rapscallions.
These are the rapscallions. And then the CIA boss goes, but Colonel America's sitting right here. Stop being so crazy.
Yes.
Now, her partner also saw Colonel America, so he could support her. But no, he doesn't. He just doesn't say anything.
That's a really good point. It must have just been another man who looks just like Colonel America.
Exactly the same as the famous Colonel America.
I'm disappointed because we don't get to talk about Colonel America anymore.
Yeah, he shows up later.
Does he?
Yeah. He shows up on the yacht, remember?
He does.
The grenade, yes.
Awesome. Carry on. So then, what happens? Oh, I've got the Argentina yacht scene as the next scene on my list.
Yeah.
I'm sure Charles was doing things at this point, but I don't remember what any of them were. So yes.
What was he do? Oh, he gets met up with Moira.
Oh, that's
He doesn't do anything with Raven in this scene, so it doesn't matter.
We can
skip it.
So yeah, then you get the yacht scene in Argentina, and you see Shaw's awesome powers of absorbing energy, and I love that effect.
With him crushing
of him, the way that he kind of becomes an echo of himself, and there's like 3 or 4 arms, and he absorbs all the energy. Does he kill Colonel America?
Yeah.
I mean,
he puts a grenade inside of him, essentially.
Fair enough. Then Moira meets Charles.
Yeah. And
they go to the CIA together. They have that CIA meeting.
Raven is there, but in the background, so again, we can skip over this.
No, but she does a major thing in that scene. They're having a big old tussle about how, because Charles Xavier knows that the CIA director was thinking about pie, he must be a spy.
Oh, that bit. I thought you meant when Moira meets up with Xavier in the...
Yeah, that's...
the pub.
Yeah.
We see that. Okay, cool. Now on to that scene,
Yeah, they assume he must be a spy because he knows...
Because he knows about the Jupiter missiles in Cuba.
Yes, and...
Not in Cuba, in Turkey. Oh my god, the Americans are putting missiles in Cuba.
It's inside their own defense system. What are we going to do? Yes, that's another good scene. I enjoy things in it.
High quality content, everyone.
I wanted to find confirmation of this, but I couldn't.
Mm.
Do you think in the scene where Mystique becomes Stryker, and then they pan round the room back to Stryker, do you think he ran round behind the camera and sat in the chair?
I really hope he is. I really hope that's what happened.
Yeah. I looked to see if I could find proof, but I couldn't.
Okay, go on. He runs around the wrong way. You see him running behind the camera. But yes, then Mystique saves the day by demonstrating, look,
mutants are real.
Yeah.
And then there's that guy who I don't think has a name who offers to put all the mutants in their facility.
He's just sitting in the back.
Yes.
It's like he's not supposed to be there, but he's just snuck in.
Well,
he doesn't get a seat at the proper table. He's just kind of there.
Well, he says he's been looking at how they can use the paranormal for American defense. He's a good character. I like him.
Yeah.
He doesn't do very much.
He dies very suddenly.
He does. At the hands of Azazel.
Yeah. So apparently, I was watching the guy who played Azazel, and he pronounces the character's name 5 different ways.
That's great. Oh, right, where are we? What happens next? Do they go to the
Then
facility?
the guy tries to take him to the facility,
Yeah.
but then Charles kindly suggests that he gets in the car, so he gets in the car.
Yes, Charles can just make people do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Wait, this doesn't really use that power ever again.
He doesn't use it very much, no. I guess it only works from the weak-minded.
Yes.
These aren't the mutants you're looking for.
There is the bit where Magneto is leaving really early on. He's leaving the facility.
And he says, I could stop you from
Yes. I think
well.
he probably just doesn't like to do it for altruistic reasons.
Mm.
And there are better ways of disabling someone, because he can just send them to sleep. And he can make people forget
It's
things.
difficult to have a character like that and not make them overpowered.
Yeah.
You know, so sometimes you just kind of say, okay, he didn't use his power now because...
Because he didn't.
He didn't.
Yeah. He's a lot of power, well.
Power is fully armed and operational. Charles Xavier. So then it's the scene with... Is it the scene with Magneto and Kevin Bacon reuniting on the boat? Is that next?
Yes. The way you put it sounds beautiful.
Romantically. They hug each other.
Eric, is that you?
Miss you, Eric.
My father! You made me what I am today. They embrace.
And they unite against Xavier and beat him.
Yeah. I like that Frost kicks him off the boat.
Yes.
She does a sweet kick.
So presumably his plan was then to get back on the boat and try again. And push the same way.
But I like Shaw's line where he's like, hey Emma, we don't harm our own kind. We are better. We don't just kill mutants. Not until the end scene anyway. He doesn't just hate the good guys because they're the good guys. He has a code and he sticks to it. And I like a man with a code. I don't have much more to say on that. Oh no! Then he flails about with the anchor, doesn't he?
Well, Magneto does.
Yes. Sure. To celebrate, he just swings the anchor around the top of his boat.
Surely, though, Shaw could just absorb the energy of being hit by the anchor.
Yes. I mean, he absorbs bullets, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like, no, he doesn't absorb the bullets.
Like debris that's falling on him, he can just absorb the energy from that, presumably.
Yeah. But he's trying to not kill Emma Frost.
He can just turn into diamond.
Why are they afraid at all? It's all for the sake of Windy Boy.
It's all because of Windy Boy.
Because Azazel can just teleport away.
Azazel can teleport away. Emma Frost can turn into diamond. And the other guy, Kevin Bacon,
Yep.
can just absorb all the damage.
But it's Windy Boy, it's the vulnerable one.
We're all gonna take care of bloody Windy Boy.
Do you think, like, he tortured them in other wars to like, gather his team together? He was like a First World War doctor experimenting on Azazel. Because, so like Nightcrawler, he can only teleport to where he can see.
Right.
But-
Azazel can, seems he can do it anywhere.
Because there's the bit with Colonel McAmerica where he's
He
like
teleports like
3,000 miles.
Nightcrawler feels very inferior.
Apparently in the comics, Nightcrawler is the son of Azazel and Mystique. That's the thing
We're
I
not
heard.
in the comics, Joe.
I know, but that's just a thing I heard. And I was like, oh yes, obviously, teleporting plus blue equals Nightcrawler. So yes, then we have the big old attack. The CIA sends some little dinghies out and Windy Boy flips them over.
That's the greatest summary I've ever heard. CIA sends some dinghies and Windy Boy flips them over.
He does! Charles is no use to them because they also have a telepath.
Yep.
That's why he doesn't solve all the problems in this movie. Because they also have a telepath.
Yes, that's why he doesn't solve the problems then, but then there are other bits where they don't have a telepath.
No, true.
Also, in that scene,
Yeah.
Emma Frost is able to just block him in like the whole area.
Mhm.
But then at the end scene, Emma Frost is also there, isn't she?
No, they catch her, don't they?
Oh yeah,
Because they get her in the
CIA box.
Comrade. If we have Colonel America, we have to have Comrade Soviet Union as that general guy.
Oh yeah. That guy. Yes, they tie her to his bed
Yes.
and then capture him.
Anything else to say about the yacht scene? What happened? Oh yeah, the submarine comes at the bottom of the yacht.
Yeah.
Because Magneto, for some reason, instead of cutting the yacht in half, he
Just-
chops the top off.
Yeah.
And then the submarine gets away. Magneto is gripping on behind it with all his manly magnetic strength, trying to presumably stop it.
Yeah.
Why didn't he attack the submarine with the anchor?
That's a good point.
He could have just wrapped it round.
Yeah. Because swoosh the submarine.
Katunked it.
That's a good point. Why didn't he do that?
Don't know. But then Charles and Eric meet. They have a nice little meeting in the water.
A nice meeting in the water.
They're like, hello. I'm just trying to kill the man who murdered my mother. What are you doing down here?
Also, at this point, doesn't Magneto know that... What's his name? Kevin Bacon?
Sure.
Shaw. Yeah, Sebastian Shaw.
Yep.
At that point, doesn't Eric know that Shaw is a mutant?
Yes.
But he says to Charles...
Wait, no, actually, does he?
I don't think he does at that point.
Because the only mutant thing he does is absorb that grenade.
Which Eric obviously didn't see.
But doesn't Frost...
But yes, because Frost turns to Diamond.
And kicks him off a boat.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but then he says to Charles...
I thought it was
alone, yeah.
Yeah. I really like how these two guys are... They're opposites in so many ways. And that's why they formed their opinions. So Charles was brought up in the best place, and he knew Raven and kind of nurtured her in a way. And so that explains why he's so fond of other mutants, why he's caring, why he wants to teach and to nurture the young. And Magneto is brought up in this horrible, literally a tortured childhood, and his whole life is just getting revenge on this man, and that's why he's the way he is. But they become friends
for like a week, and then they immediately become sworn enemies.
Yeah, but I like the fact that they both really want the other one to see things from their point of view.
And they're both completely incapable of doing that.
Yeah. It's a tragic tale, Will. And then they rescue Magneto. They take him off to the facility, presumably. Oh yeah, they go to the facility for the first time,
Then
and we meet Hank.
Yes, we do.
We meet Hanky McHankson. That's not his name. Hank McCoy, there it is.
Hank McCoy, yeah. Dr. McCoy.
Yes.
Presumably he is a doctor.
He graduated from Harvard at 15 or something.
I don't know if that's...
It might not be a doctorate. Yeah. And he has big feet.
He does. That's his superpower.
Yep. And he's super smart too,
That's
apparently.
my mutation as well.
Yes. You do have big feet.
Well, you know what they say.
Yeah, that's a scene, isn't it?
It turns out that CIA guy, what's his name?
He doesn't have a name.
The nameless CIA man.
I think he's actually credited as something like black suited man or something.
What of those? It's the CIA. Yes, he jumps up and grabs onto the model of the definitely not SR-71.
That plane they completely originally came up with.
That plane they designed entirely by themselves.
Well, Hank designed it well. Also, that no one knew that he was a mutant.
Yeah.
He smushed his feet into his shoes.
That must be like...
so painful.
How do you get your feet in shoes?
I don't know. He's super smart, Well, he probably has elastic shoes. Mystique is like, ooh, big feet.
This is not a visual medium, so you can't see my look of
Will did a look of
annoyance.
disdain. Another thing I like about this, all of these mutants think that they're the only one. And they're kind of brought into this little family. It's nice.
If you were a mutant like that, would you think you were the only one?
Well, you wouldn't know that it was a genetic mutation. It would just be a thing you could do.
I think it would be reasonable to assume you weren't.
Yeah, true. But I mean, you'd Google it now, wouldn't you? But not in the 60s. Right into your local paper. I wouldn't assume I was the only person, but how would you go about finding someone else?
Right to your local paper.
Yep. You'd go in the Lonely Hearts column.
Yeah.
Oh, then Sebastian Shaw gets his helmet.
Oh, yes, he does.
His Magneto helmet.
Which is apparently designed by the Soviets. Even though it definitely doesn't look like something the Soviets would make.
Also, surely the method of developing that technology exists with January Jones. Oh, I don't know why I went to the name of the actress there. What goes to Emma Frost, a person who is a telepath and can block telepaths.
Yeah.
But she is completely surprised that this thing has been created. But no, the Russians just...
Strong Soviet engineering. Block evil capitalist telepath.
Yep. Yes. There's nothing else to say about that scene. They're just in a submarine. I do enjoy how Azazel has a little submarine admiral's hat. That's great. But apart from that, what else happens?
Is that the bit where... No, the bit I'm thinking of later.
There's a bit where... I think it's that scene where Shaw asks Emma Frost to go and get some ice.
No, that's later. That's what I was going to say. I was going to comment on that as well, but I think that's later.
What's your comment?
Oh, I was just going to basically mention it as like, go get me some ice. And then she goes to the hatch,
Yep.
and it requires 2 people to lower the ladder.
That's
For some reason.
That's what I was going to say. Because they both just walk over in sync and lower the ladder.
Yeah.
She was doing that telepathically, wasn't she? She
And
just
then-
makes them do menial tasks for
Then
her.
she goes up and cuts off a bit from the ice mug.
Yeah.
And then looks very smug.
She does a real smug. She only has a little sip of that drink that he has specifically for himself. Oh dear, this movie jumps about so much.
Do you reckon that's not what Shaw meant? Shaw meant just like, go get some ice cubes from the fridge.
But she made the submarine surface.
Yeah.
Just for that.
Jumped on the ice berg.
Then there's the scene with Raven and Beast.
Mm.
And they're taking the blood.
Yeah.
And this is the scene where they both say how sad they are that they don't look normal.
Yeah.
And then there's the weird bit where he's about to take the blood, and Raven leans in for a kiss, and Magneto just comes in.
Yeah.
Has he been there the whole time?
Presumably. He also says that taking blood is kinky.
He does. And then he says something like, if I had your abilities, I wouldn't change a thing. If I looked like you, I wouldn't change a thing. And then he just leaves.
So what was he doing? Because he's in Hank's lab.
Yeah.
So he must have a reason. He just walks up, says a couple of things.
Sods off.
I'm done.
Oh wait, is that just before he nearly leaves? Because maybe he's rooting around trying to find the files on shore that he wants.
Why would they be in Hank's lab though?
I don't know. I reckon he just hears people talking. He's like, well, let's see what's going on here. Sneaks in. And then he spends a good 2 minutes thinking of a quip. What could I say? What could I say?
And the moment's passed, and he has to think about it.
I could say, you bloody kids, because they're getting the bladder. That's quite a good one, but I think I could do better.
Because he's not that much older than them.
No, he's not, is he? No, Raven's
Well-
literally the same age, but she ages at half the speed
Yeah,
or something. Her cells do a thing slowly.
Her cells do things slowly.
Yeah, there's another scene with
Yeah, I know what you mean.
someone saying that.
Your cells do a thing slowly.
Anything else you want to say before we get to the first montage? Hank designs Cerebro,
Yeah.
basically a telepath amplifier, and they go to find some other mutants, Will,
Yeah.
and that we have our first Professor X bald joke.
Yes.
One of 2.
No, there's one earlier.
Is there?
Yeah.
When's
When
that?
after he gets his PhD.
The second of 3. I apologise. And then we get our first montage.
He puts on his helmet.
Oh, I love the Cerebro visual of like all the people, and some of them are colourful, and you can kind of tell who's. That's how you visually show who the mutants are, and I like it. And then yes, montage, great music. These 2 guys, they decide they don't want the CIA involved,
Yeah.
and
But they're going to use CIA equipment anyway.
yes,
If I were the CIA guy, I would have said, no, so do you. You're not using CIA equipment just for your own personal project.
but to be fair, they couldn't use this facility they'd spend lots of money on without him, unless they
could have
got
found a way.
Emma Frost.
Just find a way.
But these two guys, they're like, we're going on a mutant recruiting. That's what they called it. I bet they called it mutant recruiting. And the first thing they do is go to a strip club.
Yes.
I love that they see all these mutants, and then basically they're like, Charles, make a note of the young, attractive ones. Sod all the others. Because all of them are in their late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
And unnaturally handsome.
Yeah.
So yes, they go to a strip club.
And find the most generic mutants, I think.
Yeah?
Like, flying is a bit like... The thing is, with superpowers, right?
Yep.
I like it to be something that you couldn't easily replicate yourself just with some technology.
Okay.
And like, I could just put a jetpack on.
So what she got that Falcon hasn't got, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair enough. So like Magneto, you couldn't do that.
You couldn't easily do that yourself with like just some equipment.
No. Alright.
You could in principle, but it wouldn't be easy.
No.
You know.
So they go to her. She can also spit acid, apparently.
Yeah.
That's a thing. Because, well, yeah. Anyway. Apparently when you're a mutant, you get 2 completely
Two
random...
completely random ones that
Yeah.
don't really relate to each other.
So yes, they go there.
Yeah, I'll show you mine if you show us yours.
She's like, that's not how that works. But Magneto's already doing a sexy dance. It's too late to stop him.
I don't know if it's Wolverine next, but shall we just
Wolverine's the
talk about
last.
the like 10-second cameo he gets?
Wolverine is the last one. I wrote down all the mutants because I knew I'd forget them all.
Mhm.
Oh, Darwin is next. The
Right.
cabbie.
Oh yeah,
And they get in his cab and they're like, can you take us presumably very far away?
Langley, Virginia.
Yes.
That's where the CIA is based.
Oh, yeah. Good job. Good paying attention. And he's like, that's very far away, and they're like, that'll give us plenty of time to talk, and Magneto uses mutant powers. And presumably, after they cut away, it was like, wait, are you a mutant? Yes, so are you. Come join us. They did not need 6,000 miles to talk that through.
He just sit the rest of the way in silence.
Or Xavier pulls out his thesis and just reading that. Oh dear. Who's next? Banshee's next. The guy who can shout at fish.
The Aquaman of the group.
I love how there's a Hawkeye and an Aquaman of the group. He just gets rejected by a woman.
Yep.
Because, I mean, his technique isn't that good, is it?
No.
And then they go and they find Havoc. He's in a cell.
Yes.
Yep.
Who gets let out of prison purely because he's a mutant.
Because the CIA want him.
Presumably he's committed some horrible crime.
I think he's killed a lot of people.
It's fine. You're a mutant. We're going to let you out now.
Fun fact. Alex Summers, brother of Scott Summers, Cyclops. They both fire red energy.
Everyone knows that, yeah.
Yes. Fun fact, though.
Leave.
And that's it. Oh no, then it's Wolverine.
Oh yeah. He tells them to go fuck themselves, and then they leave.
25% of the words he was paid to say was...
The only swear word
in the whole movie.
In the film.
Yeah. I love how they don't even try.
They very politely introduce themselves.
Hello.
Go fuck yourself.
And then they just sod off.
Okay.
But I mean... Xavier
go fuck ourselves, then come back. Maybe it'll be more receptive.
They go back to that strip club. My favourite thing about it, though, is Charles knows what all these mutants can do. Magneto's always just really surprised. It's like it's most evident in the strip club. She unhooks her bra and her wings come out. And Magneto was like, wow, this woman can fly. And Charles is just like, yes, I know. This is nothing to me. I wouldn't want to be Magneto in that situation because you're going into everything blind. Like, presumably he could feel the metal in Wolverine. Hang on, was he metal at that point? I don't think he was.
No, he was just bone.
He was bone.
Yeah.
They didn't even try well. If they'd got Wolverine, how easily would that final fight have gone?
Yeah.
Surely, of all the mutants they meet, he's the most potentially dangerous.
Yeah.
And he's the one they give the least effort to. Yeah. Anyway, that's great. Montage 1 complete.
Yeah.
Great music, great montage. Wish there were more montages.
I have a random comment.
Go on.
You know, every time that Charles uses his mind power,
yes,
he puts his hand on his temple.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
I get that they want to show the audience when he's using it because sometimes it's not obvious.
Yeah.
But it looks a bit silly.
It looks ridiculous.
He's going around like this. What are you doing?
The one that really stuck out to me, the first one that really stuck out, was when he's in the bar with Moira.
Yes, he's kind of good as the
And he's a bit tipsy, and she's like, I think these mutations may have happened already. And his hand just kind of slides up into frame onto his temple. Yeah, it's great. And then you have the mutant party scene.
Yes.
Where all the kiddies name each other.
Yep.
And they name themselves. And then they show off what they can do.
Again,
yeah. And they destroy a lot of things.
They destroy a lot of government property.
Yep. Okay, I don't get how Darwin's powers work.
No, neither do I. He keeps saying, I adapt to survive.
Yes.
But what exactly does that mean?
Okay, so he demonstrates it by sticking his face in a fish tank, and he grows gills, yeah?
Except that, for gills to work, you have to be moving. And he's just kind of stuck there stationary. So presumably it's not doing him any good.
But then, in the scene where Xavier and Magneto come back and they're all very disappointed.
Yeah.
Just two of the guys are just hitting him with a chair, and he's grown armor plating.
Yeah.
So, did one of them have to hit him with a chair first, so he could adapt to the situation? Also, it grows through his clothes.
Yeah, that's true.
Weird. Anyway, he adapts to survive.
Whatever that means.
Maybe he can store, if he adapts to do something, he can then store that in him, and then bring it out when he needs it.
Maybe.
So he can deploy gills because he's been in a situation where he needed gills. Or there's another one that he does. What's the other one? Because
he dies pretty soon after that. To be honest, he doesn't have much time to do it.
I'm sure there's another one. I mean, he turns into a clay man, and Shaw puts some stuff with him.
He does.
That doesn't really help. What situation it would help to be made of clay? But yeah, anyway. Yes, they all come back. They're very disappointed.
Yes, Charles is very disappointed.
Yep.
He's not angry, he's just disappointed.
Even though he must have known that was going on, surely he has checks on, especially Raven.
Yeah.
He'd keep a mental watch on her.
Well, apparently he promised never to use her mind.
Yeah, he does say that, doesn't he? Yeah.
Now, whether he actually lives up to that promise, we don't know. We never see him randomly do this.
No, Raven, I never read your mind. Hand slides up face. So then we get two good scenes back to back that we can talk about and get into a bit.
Mm.
Okay, so when he finds that they're all being very disappointing and being children, because they're children, they decide not to take them on the CIA mission.
Yes.
They were planning to take 7 children on a CIA mission?
Yeah. Mystique could have done with that easily.
I mean, yes, she would have been very useful, but anyone else...
And literally none of the others would have been helpful.
No. Go, Banshee! Scream at her! Use your aqua powers! I'll cut that joke out because of the loud and not...
very angry car outside.
They've set up traffic lights right outside my house. I'm sorry. I should have said up top that the audio would be awful because we're recording it at mine.
Yeah. You can tell when we recorded it at yours because the audio quality is just the worst.
Because I'm a city man.
Yeah.
And basically all of London is outside my house. And my windows don't close properly, so... But Will is a serene farmer.
Yeah.
I love, going back to the Argentina scene, I love how smugly that guy says he's a pig farmer.
I'm Schweiner.
And then he laughs, as it's a hilarious joke that everyone will get. I love that you have this German pig farmer just on hand. Oh dear. So, yes, so the CIA sneaking into the house scene.
Yeah.
Good scene.
No, it's not a good scene.
What?
It doesn't have Jennifer Lawrence. It could have had Jennifer Lawrence in it. Her being in it would have made the mission a lot better.
I have a theory.
But they deliberately didn't, did they?
Mystique knocks out Moira McTaggart.
Yeah.
And then sneaks on the mission as Moira McTaggart.
Yeah, that could have happened. We wouldn't know.
We can put Jennifer Lawrence in every scene by her just kidnapping someone who doesn't have powers and pretending to be them.
Yeah.
Yes, so I like how Magneto takes those guys' guns
But then it
apart.
has Mystique in it, but it doesn't have Jennifer Lawrence in it.
Ah,
So it's
true.
still not good.
Doesn't count.
It doesn't count.
Yes, anyway, I enjoy how Magneto is like, I'm not CIA, and he just sods off.
I'm just reminded of the Bane scene in Batman with the CIA guy. I'm CIA.
Yes.
I'm in charge.
That guy, but it's the guy who's in charge of the facility.
Yeah, that would have been great. You're a big guy. You. Hazel has just teleported him up. And he goes, "You're a big guy." For you. And then drops
it out of the sky. I like the bit where they get to the checkpoint and Xavier has to use his mind powers to
make them invisible.
Yeah, which is cool. The thing I like about this movie, which I say this all the time because it's a thing that happens in good movies, is that they put the characters in a situation they're not expecting or put them at a disadvantage.
Mm.
So, in the yacht scene, Xavier can't use his mind powers because there's another telepath. They get to a checkpoint that wasn't on the map. In the final scene, basically all of the things Beast builds gets destroyed.
It's true.
Yeah, so they're always at a
So
disadvantage.
much for his mutation is he's so smart.
Yeah, he's smart, but he's not a good engineer.
He's terrible. No, I don't think he's even... Because if he was smart, he'd be able to build things that worked.
He designed the...
He has an SR-71 and it still gets blown up. And uses it for something he's not even supposed to be for.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a vendetta against him the entire time. Because his character kisses Jennifer Lawrence's character at least once.
Because...
Don't like that man.
Shaw comes to the facility. He's like, come join me, mutant brethren.
Yeah. The angel goes over, yeah.
And Darwin is killed.
Darwin is like, oh, I will be sneaky and pretend to join them and then not.
Yep.
And then gets killed.
And then immediately killed. Yeah. Does that strike you as the kind of thing that Shaw would do? A guy who said, we don't harm our own kind.
That's true, he does say that.
I feel like he would have at least given him a second chance or incapacitated him.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought
he thought that he would adapt
survive.
to it much better. Yeah.
he just leaves. Azazel's like, sure, we have to go. And he's like, I'm so sorry, what have I done? I killed a giant. Do you think Darwin would have been able to stop Havoc's laser blast, though?
I mean, if he's been hit by it at least once before, then he can adapt to it.
In the scene showing off his armor scales, they're hitting him with a chair. Not a laser blast capable of chopping a bronze statue in half. I think if that...
again, it comes back to his powers aren't very well defined.
No.
Like, I'm not really sure what they can consist of.
No. But I want to see a re of that scene where Havoc fires his thing and all 5 of them are cut in half.
Good job.
But that's a high point of the movie for me. Because it's the villain, and he doesn't just go there and kill all the heroes. He wants them on side.
And then he only kills one of them.
Yes. Presumably by accident. Oh, also, we skimmed over Charles finds out the plan.
Yes.
He gets it from Emma Frost.
Yeah.
And it's to blow up the world, Will.
Yeah.
Because what kills the humans will only make us
Even
stronger.
though the nuclear explosions would still presumably kill lots of mutants.
I'm assuming Shaw thinks that all the mutants are as powerful as him.
No, but it's like just nuclear bombs. There's still an explosion.
I know.
As well as the radiation.
But I assume that he thinks that a nuclear explosion will go off, all the humans will be killed, and the mutants will just look around and be like, oh, what happened there then? As if someone like a Banshee or Windy Boy could survive a nuclear bomb. There's a nuclear bomb coming. Summon a small tornado.
Put it off course.
Yeah. I do enjoy, my favourite bit of Windy Boy is when he spins round to make a tornado. He just swizzles himself round to make a big tornado. I think that's toward the end, though. It's my favourite Windy Boy thing. Oh, he also destroys Cerebro, the jerk.
And he destroys the Blackbird.
He does. He's probably the most destructive mutant, besides Magneto.
He's still the most useless.
He is. And his name is Windy Boy. He gets what he deserves. Oh, then we get the scene with the Comrade General McRusher.
Yeah.
And Shaw is like, I assume you're going to put your Jupiter missiles in Cuba. And he's like, no, that's ridiculous.
The Russian ones aren't
No,
Jupiter
Jupiter
missiles. The Americans didn't sell the Russians themselves.
I'm sorry, that was dumb. And he's like, no. And then my favourite thing in this scene is he picks up the phone, calls the KGB,
Yeah.
and then, like, Azazel pops up, and he just goes, it's nothing. So someone on the end of that phone, they got a call from an eminent general, who just rang and went, it is nothing, and then put the phone down.
Picked up the phone. Ich bin ein Schweinebauer. Laughs hysterically.
Oh, and then we get I can't work out which is my favourite montage, but then we get the second montage.
Yes, the training montage.
Training montage.
Just like in Rocky.
Except better. Rocky just punches a big dead pig.
Ich bin ein
Schweinebauer. Oh dear. So, I love a training montage, or a building montage, or a montage of people getting better at doing a thing.
That's called training.
Yes, but I love it. We don't get them much anymore. And again, top music in this one.
Yeah.
And Xavier actually teaches them things.
He does. How is Xavier so much better with his powers?
That's a good point.
Because he has, it's not like he's had longer to use them or more experience or anything.
No.
It's somehow he has very good control
I don't know, I guess just practice.
of them. Magneto pushes Banshee off a satellite dish.
That is my favourite thing with no effects. Because it's just on a green screen. They're on like a great big green screen, standing on these rails, and you can barely hear the dialogue because it's just being recorded by a behind the scenes guy. And Magneto just pushes him, and he lands on like a big green like bag, and then he just sticks his thumb up and he's like, "I'm okay." But I also love the scene in the movie where they push him out of a window and he doesn't fly. That's great.
You just get a little whimper.
Yeah. But also Magneto pushing him off that satellite dish.
Yeah.
Magneto can catch him. He has metal straps on his suit.
Mm.
So he's not just being a jerk. He can save his life if necessary. What else happens? They put Alex in that bunker.
Yeah.
And he starts a lot of fires.
It's just useless.
Yeah. And then he has to shoot the one in the middle and not kill Giles.
Jennifer Lawrence lifts some weights.
She doesn't get trained at all.
She lifts some weights, Joe.
She does.
There's training.
It is, yeah. I like that, at the beginning, just like a subtle detail, I hadn't actually noticed it until I watched it this time, is that Charles keeps ordering himself alcohol, and he keeps ordering her a Coke
cola, yeah.
because he doesn't want her to slip up with her powers if she gets drunk, and it's just details. I like that sort of thing.
I noticed that she wasn't getting any alcohol. I was a bit. I didn't put it together. Why?
Yeah. Who else gets trained? Oh, the Hank does some running with the shoes off.
Oh yeah.
The fast running still looks real wonky.
Yes. He can run fast.
Yes.
Well,
what a power.
That's
what an ability.
Power.
And who else gets trained? Does anyone else? Angel isn't there at this point, is she?
No, she's left.
He trains Darwin. Oh wait, just a pile of dust.
Yeah. He stands around waiting for him to poke him occasionally. Come on, let's do something.
Survive. Oh, but no, training montage probably my favourite scene in the movie.
Mm.
And then Magneto, he turns the dish.
Yeah. In
his greatest training yet.
So he initially says that he can only use his power well when he's angry, right?
Yeah.
Then Charles says the most concentration is between rage and serenity. Yep. She's now an old woman.
Yep.
And then shows him that memory when he's with his
mom, lighting candles.
Then he's able to turn the dish, right?
Yep.
But do you think that all it means is that Magneto is now permanently angry all the time? And that's why he's angry to turn the dish. No, seriously, though.
That's my secret, Professor. I'm always angry. I have no idea what he means when he says the perfect concentration, the perfect place to be is between rage and serenity.
No, but I think that Charles was trying to get him to that place.
Yeah. But
all it did was make Eric remember his mother.
Which made him more
angry. And now he's just angry. And he recalls that whenever he uses power or whatever.
I suppose, yeah, that makes sense.
Which would also then help him go villainy.
Yeah. Well, he wouldn't have lifted that submarine, would he?
But no. God, that time my mummy lit some candles. Ooh, submarine.
Oh, yes, then Hank injects himself in the foot.
You've missed out on an important scene, Joe.
Oh, of course they have, yes. He offers Jennifer Lawrence
the
chance to inject herself in the foot.
Because Jennifer Lawrence is perfect already, he doesn't need your damn serum. So sod off you.
Will was going to call him a Willy.
Yeah, to our younger listeners that I'm sure we have lots of.
I'll beep that word, don't worry. Yes, and she declines because she's going on an emotional journey.
Because she's perfect already, Joe.
It's because the characters in this movie actually develop.
It's because she's perfect already.
And then he injects himself in the foot.
Yeah. I don't know why he injects himself in his foot. Well, as we discussed, he's not as smart as he thinks he is.
No.
So obviously he thinks that injecting it in the foot will...
Get it there faster?
Yeah.
And then he turns into the Beast.
Yeah.
Which is the big old blue man.
Yeah.
Should we just jump to the final scene now?
Yes.
Because we're running out of time.
Yes.
The final scene,
I get to fully unleash my rage at fucking Hank now.
Alright, okay, before we get to the X-Men rocking up, we have like a good 5 minutes without them to set up what's going on.
Yes.
With the ship crossing the line. We have the US Admiral guy who looks just like Jack Nicholson, but isn't Jack Nicholson, I'm fairly sure. And there's a Russian Soviet
There's a very scrawny Russian admiral.
Yes, there is. And they're basically primed to destroy each other.
Yeah. Do
some murders if the RLC won't stop. Turns out well, though.
Did you notice
that
RLC is a Soviet ship, and its name is printed in English on the side?
Oh, well done. I mean, I saw that, but I didn't notice it, if that makes sense. But it turns out that the crew of the RLC have been disabled. Azazel is piloting the ship.
So fulfilling his dream of being a ship
having
captain.
a big hat.
Yeah, that's why he wears that hat in the submarine. His dream was to be a sailor.
And then, just in the nick of time, the X-Men arrive.
Yeah.
And Charles uses his mad brain powers.
Yes.
To make one of the Russians blow up their own ship.
Yes.
Averting a war.
Yep.
Which is fantastic.
Shall we talk about the X-Jet a bit first?
Let's.
And how it is clearly an SR-71.
Yes. A famous stealth flying plane.
Reconnaissance plane.
Yes.
Well, the Americans and Soviets agreed, we won't fly in each other's airspace, honest. Then the Americans built a stealth plane and flew over Soviet airspace.
Good job, America.
But yeah, so the external shots, I was hoping they would have used an actual SR-71 for those, but they didn't. They built their own one.
Okay.
No, they didn't build like an actual one, but they built like an external set of it, which I found was a little disappointing. I mean, like, how hard would it have been to go to a museum and just use
set
it
up
for
there.
a day, you know?
Yeah, that couldn't have been.
And it would have been just like a nice thing.
So by the externals, you mean like the shots of it on the ground?
The shots on the outside.
Yeah.
Obviously, the inside looks nothing like it does in the X-Men.
I had somebody built the interior set so that it could rotate?
Yes, they built the interior set on a gimbal.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with the submarine interior set.
Yeah?
So they could, like, rotate it around and
Swizzle it, if
it
necessary.
around, yeah. But the Blackbird first flew in 1964,
Yeah.
and the movie is set in 1962, so it's 2 years earlier.
Okay.
Although the A-12, which was the predecessor to the Blackbird, that first flew in 1962, and it looks very much the same. So,
Okay. So they're rewriting history, Will.
yeah.
Do you like the ridiculous yellow suits?
So, okay. In the original X-Men trilogy,
Yep.
they wear, like, black
Yeah.
suits.
It's one of my favourite things. They wear black leather in X-Men. They wear black leather in X-Men 2. And then, as an homage to the yellow comic book costumes, in X-Men 3, they wear black leather with little yellow trims.
That's it, because in the original comics, they wore these garish yellow things.
Yes, they did.
So that's why they have those.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't look as ridiculous as they could
Yeah.
for a garish yellow outfit. It looks quite good, actually.
And it fits because it's the 60s.
Yeah.
In the old Bond movies, Blofeld has an army of people running around in like red jumpsuits for some reason. So it fits the time. If it was modern day, it would make no sense. But no, I like that it's 60s. What else is there on the final scene? Like,
I mean, I can get very angry at Hank some more. Because he's...
I mean, what else have you got to say about him?
Oh dear, here we go.
Just remember we've only got 10 minutes before we have to leave.
Alright, oh dear, okay. Well, I'll have to be quick. But there's so much to say, because it's so terrible in every way. So there's a bit where Professor X makes the Russian guy launch a missile.
Yes.
And so you hear in the cockpit, there's an alarm that goes off when the missile launches.
Yes.
So, which firstly doesn't really make a great deal of sense, because how the missile warning system works is basically it picks up other people's radar emissions.
Right.
And so you'll just see where everyone's radar is. So
Yeah.
presumably he can see on there all the ship's radars and things.
Yeah.
Then if a radar locked onto you, it basically prioritizes that threat and sort of tells you, look, this guy's locked onto you, you might want to be a bit careful. And then if it launches a missile, you get like very loud alarms and the little symbol comes up. But the thing is, that missile would have been locked onto the cargo ship, not onto him. So he wouldn't get a missile launch warning for that.
No.
Because it's not been launched at him and the radar hasn't locked onto him.
Good job.
So
he just gets an alarm every
he just
time
gets
a
an
missile's
alarm
launched.
randomly. It's presumably unrelated to the missile.
Just low on
happens
fuel.
to happen at the same time.
Yeah. Oh dear.
And then his missile evasion maneuver is just really terrible and wouldn't actually work.
Flip.
He just rolls over slightly. That's not how you evade a missile.
No.
I have another comment about how shit Hank is
Go on.
and his piloting. At the end, Windy Boy
Yes.
tears one of the engines off, right?
Yeah.
And the Blackbird goes into a flat spin, which is the same thing as what happened in Top Gun, is what killed Goose.
Yeah.
It's when you have low speed and asymmetric thrust.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you basically stall and go into a spin at the same time. And you end up
Gotcha.
spin.
Yeah.
So he's spinning sort of to the right, and he still has his left engine. So the problem is asymmetric thrust. So what does he do? He increases power on the engine that's left, making the situation
Much
worse.
worse. Well done, everyone.
Useless.
I like the fact that Magneto gets like the moment of triumph in the final scene because he lifts the submarine. He gets the big moment. Which
Then Windy Boy.
the Windy Boy ruins it.
Crashing down.
Classic Windy Boy.
Windy Boy.
Then what happens? They have a big old fight
They
now.
have a big old fight on the beach.
What's worth talking about?
The mirror room.
Yes, that's the only thing worth talking about.
That was a big mashup of CGI. Like the mirror room was all CGI.
Yeah, except the floor because the lighting and stuff. But
They had to so whenever something was dropped on the floor, like when they were filming it, they were like, "Oh, it's on the floor, you can't see it."
yes.
But then you could still see it in the mirrors, so the special effects people had to kind of work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, say something dropped on the floor, and you couldn't see it anymore on the filming. They had to edit it so that in the mirrors, the guy steps over the thing on the floor.
So yes, then Magneto, they have a big old tussle in the mirror room.
Yeah.
Which Charles can't get into for some reason.
I think it's like the room itself. Because when he starts breaking the mirror panels, then Charles can start getting in.
Yeah. And then Magneto, they have a good old chat.
Yeah.
Magneto pulls the helmet off. Sure.
Tells him that he agrees with everything he said.
Yeah.
And then kills him.
Yes. Coin through the head.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then all the humans unite and attack the beach, fire all their missiles.
Yes.
And
Magneto stops it and
with his
throws it back at them.
metal skills, we've got like 5 minutes. And then he flips them, throws them, there's a bit of a tussle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Charles jumps at Magneto.
Yes, Charles gets shot in the spine.
Yes.
Do you like a prequel where they're like, this is why Charles is paralysed, and this is why they're called X-Men, and this is where Magneto's helmet came from?
I think it's nice to explain that stuff, yeah.
I think sometimes it's good, but sometimes you get a movie like The A-Team, which is just, and this is why Mr. T likes his van, and this is why this guy is crazy, and he doesn't like flying for this reason. And that's the whole point of the movie, is to explain these little things.
Right.
And yeah, I like it if it's an aside. I don't like it if it's too important. Yeah.
But I think it does add a little bit extra that Eric is the guy that crippled Charles.
Yeah, that does actually.
Extra layer to their relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. Excellent. Are we there? We rushed the ending horribly, but are we wrapping up here?
We probably should.
Yeah. I'm sorry, everyone.
We're pressed for time.
We have to go see the room. It's very important. So, what do we do? Best effect, worst effect.
Yes.
Best effect?
Mystique.
Really?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Sure. The way he absorbs energy,
Oh yeah,
I like
have multiple shots.
Yeah. There are many shots. Worst effect?
The beast.
What, big blue hairy beast?
Yeah.
Because my worst effect is Beast's feet and his wonky running. We've united against Hank McCoy.
Based on.
Didn't see the correlation there at all, Will. Alright, Jennifer Lawrence section.
Yes.
We come to a strange time where we have a movie that already
have a film that has Jennifer Lawrence in it already.
Now, the question is, does Jennifer Lawrence herself break the Jennifer Lawrence rules? Does the character of Raven having a romantic entanglement mean she can't be played by Jennifer Lawrence?
Well, they break up at the end.
True.
So it's okay.
It's fine. Okay, so Jennifer Lawrence can play Mystique.
Yes.
Jennifer Lawrence section over. So we making her play someone else as well?
I guess so.
Or do we just make her play everyone?
No. That would be ridiculous, Joe. Come on. Be reasonable.
Okay, here's the game. She plays.
It's not a game, Joe.
She plays everyone except for one character. Which character do you keep as their actor?
Alright. We'll go along with this.
I think Magneto is the best performance in this movie.
Yeah.
I love his relationship with Jennifer Lawrence Charles. I love his relationship with Jennifer Lawrence Shaw. Yeah. He's not a maniacal evil villain. He's just a man who has had a horrible experience so far.
But then why does that mean he's the only person who shouldn't be played by...
I just think I think Michael Fassbender does the best job at playing that character.
Oh, I see. You're saying that Jennifer Lawrence couldn't do a better job?
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that I really like Michael Fassbender as Magneto. Especially when he's given good stuff to work with.
I think that the... No, I was about to say something really stupid. I was about to say Hank, but that's... No. He's the first person we should be getting rid of.
Alright, what if it's all Jennifer Lawrence except Windy Boy?
Okay, I'll go for that.
We'll go with Windy Boy.
The person who, for some reason, we're calling Windy Boy. Because we don't know his actual name.
We do, but I refuse to say it.
What is his actual name?
Riptide.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a sea thing, not a wind thing.
Well, yes, okay. So everyone except Windy Boy.
Yes. Or everyone except General McAmerica. So he comes into the room, and all the other mutants...
Oh, this is a tough one, actually.
How bizarre would it be in the Cerebro scene? It's just a crowded room of people, and they're all Jennifer Lawrence.
No, Joe, we can't do this.
No?
Because there is only one Jennifer Lawrence.
But she could play many roles.
That's true, yeah.
If we put her
Jennifer
in
Lawrence playing it, okay, yeah.
I think she could do it.
Yeah.
It would take forever to film,
No.
but especially the crowds.
There's a lot of good options. I like the idea of Windy Boy, just because he's a bit useless. But at the same time...
He'd stick out so clearly as well.
At the same time, General McAmerica was a good shout.
Yeah. Oh, the whole subplot of them looking normal would make no sense. Oh.
Also, General McCoy in the room where they're like the war room.
Yes.
All the other generals. There won't be Jennifer Lawrence and they'll just be him.
Yeah. What about the director of the facility? He's like, I knew there were paranormal things going on.
I think General McAmerica.
Yeah.
Just because there are so many sort of big group scenes with him.
Yes.
I'm going to be so confused.
Alright, what if it's General McAmerica, but he is also the Russian comrade? Because somehow he's a spy? So we replace the Russian guy with General America.
Okay.
It's the same actor, but he's wearing a really fake moustache.
Okay. And everyone else is played by Jennifer Lawrence.
Yes.
Thus making the greatest film ever made.
Exactly.
Cool, I'll go along with that. Are we changing the film in any way? Like the plot?
Except for this General McAmerica as a double agent for the Soviets. Alright, so leaderboards.
Leaderboards. And you got mine is easy, so we all know where I'm putting it. So
I think you can probably guess.
You go first.
Alright, my debate is whether it's better than Iron Man, which is sitting at number 5 at the moment. I like to compare it to a similar film to start with. That's my jumping off point. I think it is better than Iron Man. I like Iron Man, but I love the 60s vibe in this. I love the montages. So I'm putting it above Iron Man, but it's not better than Alien.
That's the wrong decision.
I don't know though, because is it better than Alien? I mean, I love an ensemble film, and I love this.
Alien's
60s.
an ensemble film.
It's an ensemble of people who are killed by an alien. No, it's not better than Alien.
Joe is better than Joe, please.
I'm number 5. Where are you putting it?
Obviously, it goes at the top. It's the first one we've done with Jennifer Lawrence, so
Yeah, it has to go at the top.
I don't know what I'm going to do when we have more than one.
You'll have to
Jennifer
decide.
Lawrence, and I'll have to decide.
Well,
which is
your top one at the moment is Apollo 13, isn't it?
yeah.
So
That doesn't help Jennifer Lawrence at all.
no, but I mean, so
I mean,
space plays a
we
factor.
put Jennifer Lawrence in it.
Yeah, we mended it.
We fixed it.
Yes.
But the actual original version doesn't have her in.
Nope. All right, do you want to wrap up? And then we need to run.
Alright, okay. Thank you for listening to Practically Effective. You can listen to us on SoundCloud, YouTube, and iTunes. We have a Facebook account and Twitter at PracticallyFX, and also you can email us, practicallyeffective@gmail.com. Particularly if Jennifer Lawrence is listening,
Yeah.
she should definitely email us at practicallyeffective@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Or one of the other many methods you can contact us, such as Twitter and Facebook, which I mentioned before.
And we're thinking about doing a YouTube thing.
Yes.
We mentioned it last week. No, we didn't. We mentioned it 2 weeks ago because we were a bi-weekly
mentioned
podcast.
it last time.
And yeah, we'll see if that comes to anything, shall we?
Did we mention what it was last time?
Yes.
Or did we just mention we were doing it?
Alright, if you, the 4 listeners of Practically Effective, can think of any things that happen in film that you think, that doesn't look very likely, Will and Joe could test that in a garden.
Yeah. Like in
email
Jason
us.
Bourne burning a magazine in a toaster.
Yes.
Or kicking down a door, things like that.
Yep. We'll see what we can do. Alright, thank you for listening.
Oh, hi, Mark. Oh, bye, Mark.
Ich bin ein...
Ich bin ein Schweinebauer.